My name is Catherine Pedigo, and I'm the lead academic advisor at Livingston High School. And I have with me Miss Litton in the back. She's waving her hand. And Miss Lindsay right over here where you signed in. Please sign in if you did not. The three of us run the academic advising department at Livingston High School. And this is our annual parent course catalog meeting. These are the topics that we'll touch upon. Some of it you may have heard it 3 times. Some of the things are not changing. But there are some new courses that we have to offer that I wanted to share with you. We also have a new platform for student registration for courses. And then we wanted to end by touching upon some of our dual credit options. Along with the dual credit, I'm not going to get into specifics this evening on the dual credit, because there is a requirement to pass what's called the TSI. It's basically a college entrance test. And so once that test has been given to our students and scores are received by us, then we'll determine the students that are eligible for dual credit. And we will have a dual credit meeting on April 23rd. So tonight we'll just do a brief overview of dual credit, but on April 23rd we will actually have a more detailed dual credit meeting for parents. Okay? First, I want to begin with our Livingston High School graduation requirements. If you've been in other high schools or researched the web, you can see that the Foundation High School plan for the state of Texas is 26 credits. But we need you to understand that at Livingston High School, we have 29 credits. So how credits are accumulated, we'll go over that in just a minute. Each class pretty much is a half a credit, so a full year of a course would equal 1 credit. So if you think about our school day, we have 8 periods in our day, and if you think about the 4 years that your child will be in high school, 8 times 4 is 32. So ballpark, the student should be able to earn around 32 credits by the time that they graduate. Again, Livingston High School requires 29, so you see there's a little leeway there. So for graduation, you need 29 credits. The way this is made up is our 4 core: English, math, science, and social studies. 4 credits meaning 1 each year. So freshman English, sophomore English, junior English, and senior English. 4 maths, 1 each year. Those of you that took Algebra 1 in 8th grade, that does count as your math. So many of our juniors are finishing up their 4 credits of math, so their 5th credit in math as a senior is an option. Science, 4 credits. Biology is a requirement. And then IPC or chemistry, we do recommend chemistry, but IPC is also an option. Social studies, a few years ago, the state dropped that requirement to only 3. So the students have a choice between world history or world geography, U.S. history, and then we do government and economics as a senior. Before we move on to the next slide, I want to emphasize on these 4. This is how our GPA is calculated from the 4 core subjects along with dual credit courses. So these 4 core classes is how GPA is calculated. Then we move on to the remaining graduation requirements. 2 years of the same foreign language, 1 year of a fine art. Speech and health are half a credit each. 1 credit of PE or athletics. Technology is our what we call BIM, Business Information Management, but our technology requirement is 1 credit, and then that leaves 8 electives. I touched upon this earlier, but again, just to cover the credit, a credit is basically 2 semesters in a class. So if you took English 1, semester A and semester B, that's 1 full credit. The half a credit, you did see speech and health were half a credit. We also have some new electives this upcoming school year that are only half a credit, which means they only run for 1 semester. In order to earn credit, this is where that graduation requirement comes from. You may have taken the courses, but you must also earn credit in the class. And so a credit is a passing grade of a 70 or better. If it's a full year class, then the semester 1 and semester 2 need to average together. If it's just a half a year class, then again, the average needs to be a 70. We also have a requirement for attendance in the state of Texas, which is 90%. So those are the 2 ways to earn credit. Additional graduation requirements that I wanted to make sure that parents are aware of are the EOCs. We call them end of course exams. What you guys are probably familiar with starting in 3rd grade is the STAR test. So these are still at the high school level and very much a part of graduation. Students must pass 5 end of course exams. So they are listed here: English 1, English 2, Algebra 1, Biology, and US History. So English 1, Algebra, and Biology are typically the ones taken in freshman year, unless Algebra 1 was taken in 8th grade. English 2 is the sophomore year test. US History is junior. So by the end of the student's junior year, they've had the opportunity to take and pass all 5 of these tests. Another graduation requirement that came along with House Bill 5 a few years ago is earning an endorsement. And the easiest way to explain an endorsement is kind of like a major when you graduate from college. But in high school, it's a series of courses that are related together in the same cohort. All education courses, all nursing classes, all law classes, all construction or welding, something like that. The requirement is that students graduate with at least 1 endorsement. Colleges are not looking to see how many endorsements the student graduated with. They're making sure that the student did graduate with at least 1. What we're finding in our high school is that our students are graduating with more than 1 endorsement. The requirement is the student choose an endorsement, and we need to ensure that they stick with that endorsement. So an endorsement is 4 credits in that field. Typically, they build upon each other. My example is the architecture pathway. You'd start with principles of construction, then you'd go to Construction Tech 2 the next year, Construction Tech 1, and then Construction Tech 2, and then the practicum. So the courses build upon each other from freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year, or their more advanced courses. The state of Texas allows 5 different endorsements, and if your student has been a student here at high school already, hopefully they have talked to you about what their endorsement is. It falls under these 5 categories: arts and humanities, business and industries, public service, STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math, and then multidisciplinary. So I'll take a few minutes to go into each of the endorsements. With the arts and humanities, this is 4 years or 4 levels of language other than English, like 4 years of Spanish or 4 years of ASL, 4 years of band, choir, theater, or art. The state of Texas has also allowed us to do 2 levels of each discipline. And then with social studies, that one needs to have 5 credits. Business and industry is one of our largest endorsements here at Livingston High School. Under agriculture, food, and natural resources, there are 4 different pathways. The ag, mech, and metal, this is going to be plumbing and electrician. Animal science, animals, veterinary. Natural resources will be game warden type things. Plant science, dealing with plants. We also have the construction, or what used to be called wood shop. Architecture, that's in that pathway, and then manufacturing is otherwise known as welding. More business and industry endorsements at Livingston High School are AV technology and communications, business, marketing, and finance, information technology, this is the computer maintenance and networking, hospitality and tourism is what we call culinary, and we are adding a new endorsement pathway this year called journalism. Moving to another endorsement called public service, or this is where the student serves others. The education and training, health science technology, and this is where our CNA Farm Tech LVM program comes from, JRTC, and law and public safety, corrections and security. This is not just for peace officers or policemen. This is also for anyone interested in law, attorney, things like that. And then STEM. Science and math, this requires the 5 credits. So with the science, that would mean that a student needs to double up on a science their junior or senior year. It needs to be an advanced science. On the math, those students that took Algebra 1 in 8th grade, they can easily earn a STEM endorsement in math by taking math their senior year. We started a new endorsement last year, the robotics pathway, and so we're going to continue on with this one as well. Multidisciplinary is the kind of catch-all for many of us. This is if a student takes basically an extra history. So remember earlier when I said the requirement from the state of Texas is only 3 histories, and you have a choice between world history and world geography. If the student does choose to go ahead and take that other history, then they've secured a multidisciplinary endorsement, meaning they've had 4 years of science, 4 years of math, 4 years of English, and 4 years of history. We've also included in multidisciplinary 4 credits in AP or dual credit courses selected from those following subjects. And because we are expanding our dual credit program to include some of those classes, then this is an opportunity for students to earn a multidisciplinary endorsement. Okay, let's move on now to the course selection sheet. That's what you have in front of you. This sheet that you have in front of you, every student received this last Thursday through their science class. Theirs is blue, yours is yellow. In the past, we've had a different color sheet for different grade levels. This year, we've consolidated all classes that we offer at Livingston High School on this one sheet. So you can see how it's broken up. You can see the endorsements that we've just talked about at the top of the page, and then you can see all of the different pathways at the bottom. On the other side are basic English, math classes as well. So between the front side and back side of this paper, your student and you can choose the classes that they would like to take for next year. It does indicate the number of credits that the course will earn, and it also indicates the grade level that this course is available to. I wanted to take a moment to go over the new courses. We are really excited about some of the new classes that we have to offer, and so on that sheet we've put in parentheses new, so you can kind of see, but I wanted to break them down for you. In our English department, we have a creative writing, literary genres, and the journalism. Math, we have a new financial math class, engineering math, and then that goes with the robotics too that I mentioned earlier. We started robotics last year, so we're moving in now to robotics too. I want to talk a minute about science. The AP Physics 1. This year we offered AP Physics 2 for the first time for our seniors. And so what we have found is that we want to try to specialize those students into a science pathway. So by the time they turn juniors, they're either kind of on the math, physics kind of track, or you're a biology kid. A lot of times you're not going to be both. So we're allowing the students to choose which pathway that they would like. So we're changing our physics honors class to be AP Physics. So that will be offered to our juniors, so that then the following year they can choose to continue on with AP Physics and go into AP Physics 2. Honors Anatomy, we are offering that new this year so that students can choose to take that as a junior and then move into their senior year and take AP Biology. So we're excited about that new opportunity for our science pathway. We also have added food science in the culinary department. There is a practicum at the end of each endorsement, which I think is great. Right now we have our Ready, Set, Teach program, the public service endorsement, and the students go out into the elementary classrooms. There's going to be like the business, banking, marketing, finance. We're going to have a two-period practicum at the end where the students can actually go out and work with some of our banks in the local area. And so we're excited to offer the practicum that will fall at the senior, typically it's senior year, sometimes junior year, at the end of the student's endorsement pathway. Some other courses added this year, or for next year: interpersonal studies, dollars and cents. We've heard that people need to learn how to balance their checkbook before they get out of high school. So we wanted to offer that, and also family and community services. Sports and entertainment marketing, social media marketing have been added to our business pathway. Now on to actual registration. So we're excited to have a new registration platform this year. It's called Zello, and it's all computer-based. So in the past, the counselors have met with the student piece of paper and they've circled what they want to take, and we've put it into the computer. This year, we're actually still going to have that individual meeting with the student, but we're going to be sitting with the student at a computer or their Chromebook. We're going to give them an individual login that will log into just their account in Zello, and the courses that they've already taken at Livingston High School will pop up, and it will show how many remaining courses they have till graduation. They're able to enter their endorsement, and it will show what classes they need to take for their remaining classes to earn their endorsement, remaining graduation credits. The student will actually be entering the classes that they want to take with our assistance. That's for next year. And then furthermore, they can go ahead and plan the remaining years of their high school. We call this a 4-year plan, typically starting their freshman year, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. You'll hear something called a 4-year plan or a 5-year plan, which drops down into 8th grade. And so the juniors, they have 1 year to plan. So we're going to start with the juniors first. We're actually going to start a few students on Friday. But then the following week before spring break, we'll be hitting our junior class. And then when we move into sophomores, they will not only be planning their next year as a junior, but we are going to sit with them and talk about what's going to be next for you. English 4, what's going to be your 4th science, what's going to be your practicum endorsement course, and things like that. So that is why the yellow sheet in front of you is so critical, not only just for next year, but in planning for the future years for your student. On the sheet, just one thing I don't think I mentioned, on the sheet, your student knows this, but usually you circle 8 classes, or what we want to say 8 credits. Some of the practicum classes are 2 credits each. Some of the classes, the electives, are only half a credit, so we need to make sure that it all adds up to 8. But again, the advisors will be sitting with your student and helping the student guide themselves through this process in Zello. Another thing that Zello has, a lot of interest inventories and things where the student can learn a little bit more about themselves and to make sure that they're choosing the correct endorsement. We have encouraged the students just to keep it in their backpack because we can't guarantee what day we will be with your students. We just want them to be looking at it, have an idea of their classes, and keep it with them at all times. Again, we are starting Friday. We'll work through next week. Then we'll return from spring break and be working with students. We hope to get through all of our students by the end of March. While we're talking about next year's courses, I wanted to do a dual credit overview. So the remaining of this evening will be just discussing that other additional yellow sheet that you picked up if you're interested in your child to take dual credit classes. Again, this is just an overview right now. We will have a more detailed meeting later in April. Our school board has approved, starting with this year's 9th graders. And so this year's 9th graders going into 10th have been approved to earn up to 60 college hours through dual credit. Anyone in another grade level older did not get grandfathered into that. Now, do we offer dual credit courses? Absolutely. Students are graduating with 36 plus hours this year of dual credit courses. So our school board, though, saw how important it was to offer the 60 hours. And so therefore, with this year's freshmen, they are the first class that will have that opportunity to earn 60 college hours. And we've kind of broken it down for you on that sheet, which I'll get to in just a minute. But each grade level does have an opportunity to take dual credit classes. Even if you did not take dual credit classes as a freshman, you can be eligible as a sophomore. Same thing if you never took dual credit 9th, 10th, or 11th grade and you would like to pick it up as a senior, absolutely you can. So it's an opportunity for each grade level. Our school district does pay for the tuition, the books, and then we provide bus transportation if needed for the students. I do want to point out on the tuition on the second bullet, if a student drops or fails a course, the student must reimburse Livingston the cost of the tuition expended by the district. We talked to the students about this at their registration. We talked to the parents about this. I'll emphasize this again. Students typically have 10 days to change their schedule once the school year begins or the semester begins. With college, if you remember, there's drop dates. And so there's 100% refund without any kind of penalty, but as it gets deeper into the semester, there is a financial obligation to reimburse the college, and that reimbursement actually would come from the student who's chosen to drop the class, or at the end of the semester if they were to fail the course. All dual credit courses are included in the GPA calculation. Remember, I mentioned that earlier. Our GPA is calculated on our 4 core subjects, plus any dual credit classes. So this includes the electives like speech and drama that are taken at the college. These will count into students' GPA. I wanted to take a moment to talk about AP courses. AP classes are offered at Livingston High School, but at the end of the AP class, there is a test that is taken for advanced placement college credit. So while it is not technically a college credit class. If you take the test at the end of the course and you score a 3 or greater, then you earn college credit. And so while the majority of our dual credit options are through the actual class, and you get 3 hours for taking a class if you pass, the classes, the AP Physics 1, AP Physics 2, and AP Biology 2, those 3 AP classes we will offer next year. Those classes will have a test at the end of that year. That's going to be junior, senior, at the end of the course. And if a score of a 3 or greater is earned, then the student earns the college credit. So that's kind of factored into the earning that 60 hours. We do have something called AVID. It's basically a college prep class that is a requirement for our students that are in 9th and 10th grade who are taking college. So let me talk about that for just a second. If you remember, college classes are just Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday. So we may wonder what's happening on the other days. They will be here in their AVID class. That's only for freshmen and sophomores. Juniors, that does not apply to. Fridays, college does not meet. And then dual credit courses, right now, all of our dual credit courses for next year are planned to be at 7:30. College classes are about an hour and a half, so that does run through our first and second period. Math is an option for our seniors, and so that runs our dual credit through 4th period. So basically, if your child's wanting dual credit, it'll be first and second period. Unless they're a senior, it may run 1st through 4th period. Just for next year, these are the courses that Livingston High School is offering for dual credit, broken down by grade level. This is incoming 9th graders, so I'm going to kind of skip over this. We've already had our parent meeting for this. We can kind of skip over that. On your sheet, it'll be the bottom chart, and flip it over to the top chart. That's the 10th graders. Under that's 11th and then 12th. So this is for next year. So find where your child is, and you can kind of look at that. And let me start with our current 9th graders going to 10th. So those students had 2 different options. Some chose to start taking dual credit this year and will earn 6 hours. Some freshmen chose to sit out and start their dual credit next year as a sophomore. So these are 2 different options, 2 different plans. The courses that the students will take in 10th grade differ based on if you started college this year or not. 11th grade, this is we call it English 3, but it's basically English composition and U.S. history. Those are the dual credit courses for 11th grade. If your student is brand new to dual credit, just choosing to pick it up as a junior, they do have a choice if they would like to start with the English composition and history, or if they would like to start and ease into college by just taking speech and sociology. Instead of 4 classes, they would just be taking 1. So instead of 2 classes a semester, they would just be taking 1 class a semester. Now those students are ready as juniors to take both U.S. history and English composition, and we encourage that, but it is an option if your student wants to just start with speech as a junior, that is fine. And then the last is our incoming 12th grade. The chart on the left side is for students that did not take English composition or dual credit English as a junior. So they could go into English composition as a senior, and we would count that as their 4th English. And then on the right side, those students that did take English composition as a junior would roll into what we call British literature, and also do the government. For our seniors, we do offer math. And at this time, there's so many different options on the table for our math courses that that has not yet been determined, the exact math that's offered. In the past, we've offered college algebra, statistics, finite math, and business calculus. What we're finding from colleges is that many colleges are looking for statistics. And so we want to make sure that our students, the mass number of students that are taking math, are taking the one that's going to transfer to their college. And so when we speak with the juniors to plan for senior year, we first just want to know, do they want to take a math their senior year? Because many may not need it. Many may choose not to take that. We don't encourage that. We really do want them to take a math their senior year. We first just want to know if you're interested in dual credit. Then from that, we'll find out if their pathway is more liberal arts or more business, and we'll find out and determine if they need the business calculus or do they need the statistics. And so we're going to really try to personalize that math. And so that is why the math for seniors right now is just blank. We are going to offer dual credit math. We just need to determine exactly which math to take. That'll be best for the students. Last thing I want to say about the dual credit is what a great opportunity it is for our students, but it is not for everyone. I don't want any student to feel pressured that they need to take dual credit. Every child is different, and every child's interests are different. And so as a parent myself, we need to look and see, what is this student planning to do after high school? Do they need to have the college hours? Are they planning to play sports? Do they want to go to a junior college? If they want to go to a junior college and play sports, they need to be careful that they don't earn all of their junior college hours in high school. Also, we encourage our students, especially their junior year, to be looking at the colleges they want to attend, to look at those degree plans that they will be pursuing in college, to see if those classes that we offer here in Livingston do transfer. The majority of our classes that we are offering next year for dual credit do transfer to college. Many times the student it might be transferring in as an academic elective, which is still a transferable course. But it gets so individualized as the more advanced the courses become that we really want to encourage the parents and the students to look at the college they're entering and ensure that the class that they're taking here for dual credit transfers into their degree plan. Okay, so I said all of that about dual credit back to that test. It's called the TSI, or if you Google it, it's TSIA. Those are the scores that are required. All of the students, 9 through 11, have already had the opportunity to take the TSI twice this school year. And so the white sheet of paper that you were given at the sign-in sheet, if your student wants to improve their score to try to get a passing score, or was not able to attend one of those testing sessions, then you may take your student to test at an outside location to get the TSI scores back to us. So that's the white sheet of paper. And on the TSI, I believe our handbook says that we need these scores in by the first Monday in June. It's basically the end of the school year. But we are planning for next year now. We've already given the opportunity for the TSI, and so we know the large percentage of students that are interested in dual credit, so the sooner the better. We really need to know that as soon as possible, but definitely by the end of the school year for the TSI results to come to the counselors. After the TSI is passed and the results are given to the counselor, something that you guys could be doing now if your student has not taken dual credit this year, you could go ahead and apply to Angelina College through Apply Texas website. Go ahead and get the acceptance letter and let your student bring that to their academic advisor. That is something that could be going on now in the meantime. Also, update your shot record. Their meningitis shot is required for dual credit students. And so if you're, just a summary of the dual credit, if you want to take dual credit, we first need TSI. Until April, you can go ahead and apply to Apply Texas at Angelina College and get an acceptance letter. If your student is currently taking classes at Angelina, you do not need to re-enroll. If your student thought they were going to take classes last year, applied to Angelina and was accepted but sat out this year, they need to reapply. Okay, but again, we will have a more detailed parent night on dual credit April 23rd, where we will talk about what's on the last bullet there. Again, the Apply Texas application, the registration form, handbook acknowledgement, and immunization packet. That's it. The end. That's all for this evening. The advisors and I will stay around for just a moment for some questions. I know Wednesday wasn't the ideal choice, so if you guys need to get out for church, we totally understand, but thank you for coming in. The handbook, I did not give you a handbook. because your child got one, we also have them online.